Hey everyone, it's Riley, and today I wanted to bring you a few different bullet journal ideas that you can use as your theme for the month of March, or really any month that you'd like. So I post a video like this every month, and if you've watched some of those, I feel like I'm gonna sound like a broken record because I always say the same few things. One of the goals that I have here on my channel is to just make bullet journaling not intimidating and just accessible to anyone who's just looking to try it. So that's the purpose especially of these videos here. I want to give you 3 different theme ideas today that can be done by anyone. Even if you don't have tons of supplies, you don't have tons of time, you've never really done this before, I'm hoping that these bullet journal themes will not be intimidating to you, but give them a try, let me know which ones you like, and I hope that you enjoy today's video. Alright, so for the first one, we're going to make a floral design really centered on the page, and I'm going to section off the part of the page that I actually want to fill with this floral design by using some washi tape. So I'm just going to count maybe, let's see, I think 6 dots from the top and bottom looks good. So I'll go 6 down from the top and 6 up from the bottom. And I'm just gonna make a rectangle, and you can definitely skip this step if you want to just outline it with pencil. But I personally like to do this because it helps keep your lines nice and crisp when you're doing your drawing. So I went 6 from the top and bottom and then 4 dots in from each side. But you can definitely make this bigger or smaller or a different shape. Or if you want to just use this same design but have it all over the page or something, you can definitely do that as well. So that's where I want to keep the design focused. And for this one, I'm actually going to start off just by writing in the month of March. And I'm going to do that, let's see, maybe down in the corner here. So the doodle for this theme is just going to be 1 flower and 1 type of leaf over and over, and it's a really simple 5-petal flower. So I am using the Lyra or Lyra Aqua Brush duos for all of these themes. They are seriously just like Tombows. They've got the brush tip on one end and then a sort of bullet felt tip on the other end. I've been using them for a few days, not that long, but I haven't really noticed any differences in quality between these and the Tombows. So I'm going to link their Instagram page down below. They've got a bunch of products, but I would personally recommend the Aqua Brush Duo. They come in a 36 pack, and those are all the colors that I'll be using today. So I'm going to start off by drawing in some of those flowers. And the leaves are the petals are kind of going to be heart-shaped. So the dent at the top isn't as obvious as it would be with a heart, but that's sort of the general look that we're going for. Alright, so now that I've got the outlines drawn for a few of these flowers, I'm going to switch over to the brush tip. And obviously you don't need these same markers. You can easily use felt tip markers like the Crayola Super Tips or something like that. But I'm just going to use the thicker side here to color in all of the petals. Alright, so I've got my first few flowers drawn in. Now I'm going to take a green, and again I'm using one from the exact same set of markers, and just kind of fill the space with some pretty basic leaf shapes. And just like with the flowers, some of them are going to get kind of cut off by the washi tape border, but that's going to look really nice and crisp when we actually remove the tape. So now we've got the space pretty much filled in here, and there's definitely a few options. You could outline all of these if you wanted to. You could obviously use more than one color for the flowers or the leaves, but I'm just going to leave it as is and peel off the washi tape to see the final result. Alright, so there is the finished theme. A few things that you could do with this. Again, if you wanted to fill the whole page or just have them kind of moving across, you can definitely use this same kind of color, or if you want to outline the flowers themselves. Another thing you could do is outline the box that they're in, or maybe leave a gap, like a dot or two, and then put an outline around it. And what I did the last time I used this in a custom bullet journal was I actually cut out around the edge like a Dutch door. So that's definitely an option too. And this theme, including all of the talking, took me about 8 minutes to put together. So moving on to this side of the page for the next theme, I'm going to set up an Orca or killer whale theme for this month. And again, I'm using one of these dual tip brush markers. This one is in the color black. You can use any black like felt tip marker that you have. And I'm going to start by drawing the Orca itself. So you want to start off with kind of a curved line. I feel like I made mine way too big, but that's okay. We're going to work with it. So this end here is supposed to be like the head, and this end is going to be the tail. So I'm going to connect both of these ends here now, and I want to kind of make what's going to be like the mouth of our Orca. So he's going to kind of have a little smile, if you can tell, and then I'm going to bring this line up and kind of make it get thinner and thinner as we get closer to the tail. And hopefully this will all come more into focus as we get the rest of the whale started. Just this is kind of the initial step. So next I'm going to draw the tail. So I wish I would have left myself a little bit more space for a wider tail, but that's all right. We want it kind of fanning out like that. And then we're going to use a curved sort of S-shaped line to bring both of those edges in. And I strayed a little bit. I'm just going to cover that up with some white gel pen. Started taking my S the wrong way. Next, I'm going to add a fin here. So I'm just going to make a sort of curved fin just behind the smile. And then the top, the dorsal fin. So that's going to be pretty tall, and it's going to bend a bit at the top. So it looks a little bit different than that one, but really doesn't matter too much. And all of this is going to be colored in black. What I do want to do is leave a white spot over here. So there's kind of the skeleton that we're working with. I'm going to flip over and use the thicker end of the marker and just color this whole thing in. So now that we've got the main part of the Orca filled in, I'm going to take a black fine liner to kind of close off the bottom of the Orca, which would be white. So I just want to make a curved line from the tail up to the head. And I feel like I should have made mine a little bit lower down, but that's what you get when you don't go in with pencil first. You sometimes make a few mistakes, and that's fine with me. So there's our Orca. Now I'm just going to finish off the theme by writing March using this vibrant blue, and I will add a few bubbles as well. Alright, so there is our finished Orca theme. Again, if you wanted to switch this up, you could do multiple whales, you could add a calendar over here, you could add some washi tape. You could sort of section part of this off and color it in with blue to make it look more like water, whatever you want to do with that. And this theme, along with all of the talking, took me about 6 minutes to put together. Now moving on to the final theme, I wanted to make this one really simple, and it's going to be kind of abstract. So I'm going to be using these 3 colors over here, again from the same set of markers. And I'm going to start off just by making a few blobs in all 3 colors. Alright, so there are my blobs, and yes, some of them kind of go over onto the other page. You definitely wouldn't need to do that, or if you're planning to do like a quote or even some trackers or a calendar or something, you could have the design kind of flowing across both pages. So the next thing I'm going to do is take 2 black pens or markers, one that's wider and one that's finer, and add some curved lines. And I like to start off with the wider one. So here's my wider marker that I got from the dollar store, and I'm just going to start off by making a bunch of curved lines. And what I'm doing is, for all of the lines made with the thicker marker, I'm going to draw the lines in pairs, and for all the lines made with the thinner fine liner, I'm going to draw just a single line. So you'll see what I mean as I kind of get going here. Alright, so there are my lines, and you can see in general, the thin ones tend to kind of mirror the shape that they're around, but be a little bit off, and the thicker ones don't really follow that trend. They mostly kind of intersect with shapes, but you can really be flexible with that. That's just what I ended up doing. And next you're going to write the heading for March in this space. If you wanted to do that first so that you could make sure that it fit nicely, you certainly can. I'm just going to go in with a black marker, and this is just one of my Crayola super tips, and I'm going to write March. And just to make this font a little bit more fun, I am going to take my black fine liner and add a drop shadow. So I'm just going to add a little line to the right side of every letter stroke. Alright, so that's all for this abstract theme. Again, you could definitely make whatever changes, use a color for your wavy lines, use a different font, whatever you want, but this one took me about 5 minutes to put together. Thank you all so much for joining me for some more bullet journal theme ideas. I hope that you enjoyed it, and I will see you in the next video.